What's up everyone and welcome back, because today is the day we finally talk about one of the most anticipated characters of version 3.1. Are you ready to pull Aemeath and absolutely dominate Wuthering Waves? Because in this video I'm breaking down everything you need to know to build Aemeath the right way, not just so she works, but so she becomes a true main resonator capable of clearing every piece of endgame content the game throws at you. And trust me when I say this, Aemeath is not just another DPS, she's not just another flashy unit. She's one of the most complex, future-proof, and explosive characters we've ever gotten. Because Aemeath is essentially two characters in one, and how strong she becomes depends entirely on how well you understand her kit. Loot Bar, one of the best global top-up platforms made specifically for gacha gamers. If you're planning to pull Aemeath in version 3.1, Loot Bar makes it fast, secure, and honestly way more affordable than in-game top-ups. You can grab Aemeath packs, version 3.1 bundles, and other premium resources at very reasonable rates. New users can get up to 10% off with a discount coupon, and even if you're already a Loot Bar user, you can still snag a 5% off coupon specifically for Aemeath, so there's literally no reason to miss out. Loot Bar is trusted globally, holds a 5-star rating, and is endorsed by creators all the way from Jello Impact to Raiden Shotgun, so you know it's legit. If you want the smoothest pull experience and the best deals, register now using the pinned comment or the link in the description, top up safely, and let's pull Aemeath together. Right out of the gate, Aemeath introduces something that fundamentally changes how you approach team building, and that's her dual resonance modes. From her character screen, you can freely swap between Toon Rupture mode and Fusion Burst mode, instantly changing how she deals damage, how she scales, and what kind of team she wants to be played in. This alone already makes her incredibly valuable, because she's not locked into a single archetype. Instead, she adapts to what you have on your account and what future characters will bring. In Toon Rupture mode, Aemeath becomes a rupture-focused carry that thrives on breaking enemies and stacking multiple rupture damage instances onto a single target. In Fusion Burst mode, she transforms into a negative status detonator, scaling insanely hard off Fusion Burst stacks and excelling in AoE-heavy encounters. Same character, completely different playstyle, and both are strong. Now let's talk about why her damage ceiling is so ridiculous. Because this is where Aemeath really starts to feel unfair. Her inherent skill, Between the Stars, is the core of her power. Depending on which resonance mode you're in, Aemeath gains massive self-buffs simply by being placed in the correct team. In Toon Rupture mode, if your allies can trigger Toon Rupture mechanics, which right now means Line and Morine, Aemeath gains up to 60% crit damage for free. On top of that, when this buff is fully maximized, her final enhanced ultimate receives a 25% damage amplification, which directly boosts the single strongest hit in her entire kit. This is why Toon Rupture. Aemeath absolutely deletes bosses and elite enemies. She doesn't just hit hard, she hits repeatedly, stacking rupture damage again and again onto one unfortunate target until it simply stops existing. Switching over to Fusion Burst mode, the same crit damage and final ultimate amplification apply, but now, everything scales around Fusion Burst negative status instead. Right now, Aemeath herself is the only consistent Fusion Burst inflictor in the game, which means this team archetype isn't fully complete yet. But don't let that fool you. This is clearly intentional design. The moment we get another Fusion Burst sub-DPS or support, this team is going to explode in value. Chisa already fits perfectly here, thanks to her ability to enhance and manipulate negative statuses. And it's extremely likely that the next Fusion Burst unit will push this archetype straight into top-tier territory. Compared to Toon Rupture, Fusion Burst teams shine much more in AoE scenarios, making Aemeath a monster in content with multiple enemies. But here's the part that a lot of people overlook. Aemeath is not just selfish DPS. She brings a surprising amount of team utility. By default, she grants a 10% all damage amplification to the entire team, and if your allies can apply Toon Rupture Shifting or Fusion Burst, depending on her mode, that buff jumps up to 20% team-wide damage amp. When you put everything together, Aemeath's full buff package includes up to 60% self, crit damage, 25% enhanced ultimate damage, 200% self-damage amplification from her second inherent skill, up to 20% all damage amp for the team bonus rupture instances or Fusion Burst scaling and further amplification after her first ultimate. This is why she feels overwhelming on paper, because she kind of is. So how does all of this actually play out in real gameplay? Aemeath's rotation revolves around resonance rate and forte management. Your entire goal is to unlock her enhanced final ultimate, because that is where all of her damage comes together. Early in the rotation, you'll typically intro into Aemeath and immediately use her normal ultimate, which instantly gives you 2 resonance rate stacks. From there, you build forte through basic attacks, just like most characters. But here's the twist. Aemeath also gains additional resonance rate stacks every time she swaps forms using her enhanced resonance skill. Once forte is maxed, you use the enhanced skill to switch forms, gaining another stack. Do this correctly, and you'll hit the cap of 4 resonance rate stacks. At that point, with full forte and full stacks, Aemeath unlocks her enhanced ultimate, also known as her final ultimate. And this is where everything detonates. Everything you did before this moment was set up. Buffs, debuffs, trails, stacks, reactions, all of it exists for one purpose, to make this single moment hit as hard as possible. In Toon Rupture mode, ally-triggered rupture reactions apply. Rupture trail stacks to enemies, up to 30 total. When Aemeath uses her enhanced skill, these stacks are consumed, increasing Toon Rupture damage by 4% per stack, which means massive scaling if you manage it properly. After her first ultimate, consuming these trails also increases the number of damage instances, leading to even more burst. Fusion Burst mode works similarly, but somehow even crazier. Every Fusion Burst reaction applies a Fusion Trail stack for 30 seconds, up to 30 stacks. When consumed, these stacks trigger Fusion Burst damage with 10% extra multiplier per stack, reaching up to 300%, and after Aemeath's enhanced normal attack, that multiplier gets another 200% increase. Yes, that's real. Yes, it's absurd. And yes, it's exactly why Fusion Burst Aemeath is going to scale insanely well into the future. Now, let's talk builds, because none of this matters if your setup is wrong. Aemeath's signature weapon is unquestionably her best in-slot and synergizes perfectly with her kit. If you don't have it, the standard 5-star option works well, and the Battle Pass Feather Edge is a solid fallback. For Echoes, her best set is the Trailblazing Star set, no contest. Your main Echo should be Sigillum the Mechanical Being, which lines up perfectly with her burst windows. For main stats, you want crit rate or crit damage on cost 4, depending on balance, fusion damage on cost 3, and attack percent on cost 1. Substats should focus heavily on crit rate, crit damage, attack percent, and a comfortable amount of energy regeneration, so you can reliably cast her first ultimate every rotation. You don't need excessive ER, but you do need consistency, because without her ult, her damage falls off sharply. When it comes to teams, the strongest option right now is clearly the Toon Rupture team of Aemeath, Line, and Moraine. This team fully activates Aemeath's self-buffs, boosts Rupture efficiency, and creates one of the most stable and devastating archetypes currently available. For Fusion Burst, Aemeath and Chisa already form an excellent core, and once a second Fusion Burst character releases, that team will immediately jump in power. Other teams, like full fusion comps with Lupa and Moraine, can function, but they simply don't reach the same ceiling. So let's wrap this up. Aemeath feels like one of those characters you either planned to pull from the moment she was revealed, or you slowly realized you needed after understanding her kit. If you already own Line and Moraine, Aemeath completes that team perfectly, and gives you a long-term, dominant lineup that will age extremely well. If you're a Chisa player, Aemeath opens the door to an entirely new archetype that's just waiting for one more piece to become insane. She's flexible, powerful, visually stunning, and clearly designed with the future of the game in mind. Personally, I think Aemeath is one of the strongest and most exciting releases we've seen in a long time, and I cannot wait to fully build her myself. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to like it, hype it up, and I'll catch you in the next one.